harassing the police every single day. Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Copwatch, and I'm going to do a quick comment on this before I start the screen read on this. But this is a death threat that was made by the Charlotte County Sheriff Deputy Mark Crissinger and his wife Joy. We turned this to internal investigations, but as you know, that's like asking the mafia to investigate itself, and that is pretty much what happened. This is a absolute freaking joke. It was on Facebook. It is fully documented. They lied their fucking ass off, and sheriff doesn't care. If it would have been proven it was a real death threat, yes, Mark Crissinger would be in trouble. Here's the neat thing. They interviewed Mark Crissinger. They interviewed his wife Joy. They interviewed me. Actually not a real interview. I went there to report it, and then they never even interviewed my freaking wife. This is an absolute joke and travesty. I'm going to do a screen read on this, and I do want you to know we are not letting this die. We are pulling all records connected with this case, because whoever freaking signed this piece of shit, you're going to find, as it's read, it's like a fucking high school, middle school person wrote it. It is piece of shit. So whoever signed their name is guilty for a BS report, a fake report, lies everywhere, and we're going to reopen, we're going to refile, and we're going to get some people in trouble for a bunch of bullshit.
On August 13, 2018, the Charlotte County Records Department received a request from Internal Affairs Corruption, which is maintained by citizen Andrew Sheets. The request was for Internal Affairs to conduct an investigation into Deputy Mark Crissinger for knowing of a crime committed by his wife. The request indicated Mark Crissinger's wife, later identified as Joy Crissinger, posted a death threat on Facebook towards Andrew Sheets' wife, and Mark Crissinger was aware of it because he was also involved in the conversation. The death threat was made because of a story Andrew Sheets posted on his Copwatch page about a previous internal investigation on Mark Crissinger. Attached with the public records request were numerous documents to support the claim. One document was a Word document of the foreign language conversations, with translations obtained by an unknown means. I was able to print the documents, review them, and observed several of the conversations were written in a foreign language. I completed a notification letter to send to Andrew Sheets, advising an investigation would be conducted. Around the same time, Andrew Sheets came to the headquarters lobby, and I was able to speak with him in person. Andrew advised his wife, Leonida Sheets, was friends with Joy Crissinger, and they were friends on Facebook. Andrew advised Leonida has nothing to do with his Copwatch page. But after he ran a story on Mark Crissinger, Joy Crissinger began messaging Leonida and threatening her. Joy Crissinger was upset because the picture Andrew used on the story was of Mark and Joy Crissinger together, which he obtained from the internet on Mark Crissinger's LinkedIn page. The original messages were directly from one Joy Crissinger's Facebook page to Leonida's Facebook page. Leonida blocked and then saw further posts Joy Crissinger's on page. One of the posts was a lit candle with a dark background. Andrew advised, in the Filipino culture, the candle is a death threat. There were several responses from other people on the candle photograph, with Joy Crissinger Facebook commenting in Filipino dialects. Andrew advised Leonida translated most of the comments, but there was some dialects she was not able to. Based on the translation, Andrew felt Joy Crissinger sent a death threat and other threatening messages towards Andrew and Leonida. Andrew had additional paperwork that was not originally included in the records request, so I was able to obtain copies of them. Andrew advised Mark Crissinger commented on the death threat candle post, and feels Mark should have acted upon the death threat as a law enforcement member, and not encourage it. I reviewed all of the documentation, along with the translations completed by Leonida. I observed the initial internal investigation records request, which had the first name crossed out, but was determined to be from Leonida sheets. When I asked Andrew about it, he advised Leonida has nothing to do with it, but he uses different accounts to ask for public records. I also observed the full initial internal investigation, along with the cover post of what Andrew Sheets ran a story on. I observed the photograph to be of Joy and Mark Crissinger. There was no criminal or illegal action done by Andrew Sheets for obtaining the information and posting a story on it. I then reviewed several messages directly from Joy Crissinger Facebook page to Leonida Sheets Facebook page. They were in a foreign language, but a translation was provided by Leonida. The messages were translated as, "What is the problem of your husband? To my husband, take that post that he posted because that's our picture. You want riot? Take all that post you posted. You are animal bullshit. Did you know what is karma?" The next post I reviewed appeared to be directly on Joy Crissinger's Facebook page. Again, it was written in a foreign language, but a translation was provided by Leonida. It was translate as, "Wow, you blocked me right away cause you are ashamed of my post, Leonida Sheets. You discipline your husband, even my own picture is involved in your craziness. One you will see." The next post appeared to be directly on Joy Crissinger's Facebook page. It was a small portion of a lit candle, with a dark background, with a comment by Joy Crissinger in a foreign language. It was transcribed to say, "This is for you to crawl you with karma." There were several sub-conversations to the candle post. Some of the conversations were in English, while other were in a foreign language. Conversations in English were back and forth between Joy Crissinger and several people. There was one conversation between and Jeanette Tuck, where responded with, "He started the game. I will kick his ass." Jeanette replies with, "He refuses to come out and face those he trash talks. Instead he sits behind his computer like the little wimp he is." Following that comment is a meme photograph added by Mark Crissinger saying, "I'm a chicken," and a sentence by Mark saying this is him with a smiley face. Based on the above described conversation, it was between Joy AMD Mark Crissinger and Jeanette, and not sent to Leonida Sheets or Andrew. The conversation was on Joy Crissinger private Facebook page, but Andrew and Leonida were able to see it because they were friends on Facebook. Based on the above described conversation, it was between Mark and Jeanette, and not sent to Leonida Sheets or Andrew M. friends on Facebook. The page and conversation is not open to the public to view, due to the conversation being on a private Facebook page, and the nature of the comment by Mark. There was no violation of policy or procedure. The comment by Joy Crissinger to Jeanette, stating, "I will kick his ass," does not meet any criminal violation, due to several other conversations being in a foreign language. I sent the documents off for transcription, in order to verify whether there were any threats that met a criminal violation. Pages 1 to 4 were the initial messages to Leonida from Joy Crissinger, and the initial post Joy Crissinger on Facebook, all without any translation comments from Leonida. Page 5 was a conversation on Facebook prior to the candle post. Page 6 was the post of the candle. Page 7 and 8 were conversations directly related to the candle post. On August 28, 2018, American High-Tech Transcription advised pages 1 to 4 were Visayan. Page 5 seemed like Sabacano or Spanish. Page 6 was Tagalog. Page 7 was an unknown dialect. And pages 8 to 9 were Visayan. They advised they could translate the Visayan/Tagalog, but not the others. So a request was sent to see if they could find someone who could, prior to an actual payment for completing the translation. American High-Tech advised it appeared pages 6, 8 and 9 were translated correctly. The request was made to have pages 1 to 4 translated, and to still attempt to have the other pages translated. On September 12, 2018, America High Tech Transcription provided an email advising the original Visayan translator was no longer able to be reached, and all resources to find another translator were exhausted, so they were unable to complete the translation request. I reached out to our telephone translator service, but they advised they did not have anyone to do the translation, as they are services for direct verbal conversations while on scene trying to communicate. I reached out to the state attorney's office to see who they utilized for translation, and they advised they did not have anyone to translate various Filipino dialects. On October 3, 2018, I made arrangements to meet with Joy Crissinger home to go over the documents for translation, and to get her side of the incident. I met with her and she explained what occurred. Joy Crissinger advised she and Leonida have been friends, but was aware of Leonida's husband, Andrew, posting stuff about law enforcement officers on the internet. She learned Andrew posted a story about Mark Crissinger, and when she observed the story, there was a picture of her and Mark. Joy Crissinger became upset that her picture was there, and did not think Andrew had the right to include her. She believed Andrew obtained the photograph from their private Facebook page, and put it on the internet, which he would be arrested for in the Philippines. After seeing the photograph, she began messaging Leonida directly, asking her to take the photograph of her off, and that she should be ashamed of what her husband is doing. After she sent several messages to Leonida, Leonida blocked her from being able to send messages. So she posted on her Facebook the comment about blocking her immediately. Once she posted that comment, several of her friends reached out to her and asked what was going on. Joy Crissinger was upset about what Andrew was doing, and her photograph on the internet. So she found the picture of the candle and posted it directly to her private Facebook page. Joy Crissinger advised the candle was not a death threat, or for any harm to come to Leonida or Andrew, but for karma to come back at them for what they were doing. Once she posted the picture of the candle, several more people began commenting on it, to which she responded. I then went over the documents to have her translate and explain them. I first provided her a picture of her Facebook page, and she advised it was indeed her Facebook. I showed her the messages she sent directly to Leonida, and the initial post she put on her Facebook. Crissinger advised the translations by Leonida were correct. While discussing the translation with her, Joy Crissinger was having difficulty putting it directly into English words what she directly said, but was able to explain the basic premise of what the words meant. I went over the friend responses to the initial post, and she advised her friends were telling her to relax. They began joking about the situation, saying it was causing her to get wrinkles, and they need to make them, Andrew and Leonida, to be the ones to get the wrinkles. Another conversation was about the husband, Andrew, posting stuff about cops on a public website, and that Mark was posted on there. I went over the candle post, and the comments about it. She advised the candle, as written and transcribed, was not a death threat. It was for karma to come back to Andrew and Leonida for what they were doing. One friend made a crying face, so she residential owned it, asking why she made a crying face, and the friend said because of the candle, and that she would pray for the person. Joy Crissinger advised to pray for them, as God knows what they are doing. Another conversation was from Russell Russi saying he hoped Joy Crissinger would be able to solve the issue. Joy Crissinger responded the only way it would be resolved was for him to go to Peace River. Leonida had translated this as to mean floating in the water. Joy Crissinger advised she had a previous conversation with someone where they were saying he, Andrew, needed to see a psychiatrist. Russell responded saying the types of story they did on Mark would be expensive. And Joy Crissinger replied they are good at doing those reports because it is their job. I had her explain the comment between her and Jeanette about he started the game. I will kick his ass. Joy Crissinger advised she was not threatening to do physical harm to him. as she is a petite female and he is a male. But that she was going to beat him at the game he was playing. On October 5, 2018 I spoke with Sergeant Mark Crissinger. He was aware of the incident I was referring to. He advised his wife Joy Crissinger was upset about her photograph being put on Andrew Sheets' Copwatch page. Especially since Joy Crissinger was friends with Andrew's wife, Leonida. Due to her Filipino heritage, she felt it was inappropriate. So she messaged Leonida to have Andrew take it down. He was not aware of what was messaged or said to Leonida, but did reply to a conversation involving Joy Crissinger and Jeanette Tuck on Joy Crissinger's private Facebook page. He advised the comment was on a conversation associated with a picture of a candle. The candle is a religious symbol to Joy Crissinger since she is Catholic. And he knew it was not a death threat or any other type of threat. He did not see anything criminal with what Joy Crissinger had posted. His comment was supposed to be funny amongst the three of them, and not threatening. Based on the investigation, there were no threats or crimes involved with the messages sent directly to Leonida from once Leonida blocked Joy Crissinger. The rest of the incident occurred on Joy Crissinger's own private Facebook page. These conversations were between friends, and not out to the public, or directed at Leonida or Andrew. None of the comments constituted a criminal violation, since there was no crime observed. The allegation of Mark Crissinger not acting upon a crime is unfounded. This case is closed. Police use who may want to retaliate against him physically.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Copwatch, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use. And also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, you know, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon, Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full-time doing this. Thanks.